So the first thing to understand about dating someone with BPD is chances are they will get better. So the research suggests that 35% of people with BPD will actually be in remission at 1 year. So that means that BPD kind of goes away after 1 year for about 35% of people. But what about like higher odds? So if you look at people with BPD 10 years out, 91% of them are in remission. They actually hit a 99% remission rate at about 16 years. So what that means is that a lot of people will think that if someone is a crazy ex-girlfriend, if they stay with that person will remain crazy for the rest of their lives. And this is what you have to put up with for the rest of your life. But the truth of the matter is that for the majority of people, BPD actually resolves. And the way that it resolves is by having oftentimes a stable relationship. And so the reason these people get stuck is because there's kind of too much to handle, too much of a roller coaster. They get dumped. And then like the whole cycle kind of repeats itself. They feel more insecure. We'll kind of get to that. But the first thing that I want to tell you is that if you're in a relationship with someone with BPD or you have BPD, that the good news is that actually 99% of people are actually okay after about 16 years. And 35% of people are better after 1 year. So it kind of, paces out that way. So the second thing that we have to talk a little bit about is the gender breakdown in BPD. So about 75% of people who have BPD are women. And this is part of the reason why I think they're characterized this way in movies and like TV shows and stuff. Our media portrayals are usually focused on women. And there's like some amount of like truth to that, right? Because the majority of people who have BPD happen to be women. Some recent research is suggesting that the ratio is actually closer to 1-to-1 or 50%. And today what we're going to talk about is some of the examples that I'll use will be sort of focused on a woman with BPD because that's most of the experience that I've dealt with. But there are absolutely cases, and we'll touch on these as well, where men can have BPD too, and those can be really challenging relationships, okay? So don't give up hope. You don't have to dump them. We're not saying that you shouldn't dump them if that relationship isn't right for you. But I want to tell y'all first and foremost that having BPD, even though it can be a red flag, does not mean that it is an insurmountable problem in a relationship. So let's move on to understanding a couple of the core features of BPD. The first thing to understand about BPD is that these people have difficulty with emotional regulation. So if you look at the brains of people with BPD, they actually suffer more than the average human being. And how can you say that, Dr. K? Like, oh my God, like, isn't all suffering equal? How can we compare suffering? Like, everyone is entitled to suffer. Yes, that's true. Everyone is entitled to suffering. We shouldn't compare suffering, but you can actually do brain scans on people with BPD. You can actually study their reactions in their brain, and what you discover is something that's really interesting.